It's a brand new week on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brand. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies with me. Hello.
Good morning. You say it every day. As somebody will say, Moturayo, I want to greet Moturayo. I say, no.
My name is Morayo.
My name is Morayo.
My birth certificate actually says Morayo.
She's not Moturayo.
Is there a fuller name, Moturayo?
No, there's another person,
name.
yes.
Okay.
There are other names, Moturayo. That's a more common Yoruba name, but like,
Morayo
I want to
is-
greet Moturayo. Not Moturayo, it's Morayo.
Hi, dear Mariam. How was your weekend?
Fine, my weekend was good. I just want to celebrate a particular group of people. See, when we were growing up, there were some jobs that our parents used to even say, God forbid my child will not be. You see jobs like tailors, you see jobs like farmer. You know, they wanted you to go to school to be a doctor or a, you know, some sort of professional that they see.
White collar.
Good, white-collar jobs, that's what they wanted. But I'm seeing people of my generation and even younger doing amazing things. There are these farmers in Jos that are growing, I know you're going to talk about Jos, but they are growing, they are growing exotic fruits and vegetables and supplying stores across Nigeria and even Africa. And these are young farmers. So they've carried that degree that maybe you would have thought it would be good in a bank or, you know, working for someone else. And they are building themselves and building the economy and employing people and also finding like new ways of doing, of farming. Then we have these tailors that have taken tailoring to a whole new industry.
The reason why I sighed was because my husband met some of his colleagues, his friends from school on Saturday in Ibadan. We went to a party in Ibadan. And he was there doing, you know, businessman, lawyer thing. And they were looking at him, we are farmers. We have 5 hectares of watermelon,
I mean, you see
5 hectares of cucumber. They were boasting that they have piggery, and it was only, am I in the wrong business? And these are guys that are doing well. So you can see that if you are sitting down there waiting for a degree, you're wasting, there's
I mean, I have a
of
classmate who has hectares and hectares of land, and all he does is potatoes and achar.
And the truth is that, Nima, you see, I was telling somebody, the government has actually done a lot in this agriculture. There's a lot of money out there, but lots of people are actually not taking advantage. We're just looking at we're not looking at the bigger picture. We're just seeing, the expensive businesses. But agriculture is very, very, very viable, and the government has invested a lot to help farmers, so you can actually get loans to set up a farming business. And the value change of farming of agriculture is huge. We still have the issues of product spoiling, issues of preservation.
Exactly. So there are different subsectors to that sector.
Power. So most people are not even really.
No, it's even extracting the seed. For tomatoes, for instance, I did a research on tomatoes. I wanted to go into agriculture in 2015 before I got pregnant. So we had done the work, myself and a young man who was traveling from the north. And he said they need to spread the tomatoes to get the seed for replanting. So they need to crush and waste so much to get the seed for replanting. And
something I used to be addicted to back in the States was dried tomatoes. No, dried tomatoes. You used to put them in spaghetti. I used to cut up in spaghetti. I've not had dried tomatoes in years. But somebody can actually dry tomatoes.
They actually do.
You can put your spaghetti
you don't do
in your sauce. It's amazing. Dried tomatoes.
I've never heard of that before.
Dried tomatoes cut up in your sauce. It's amazing. Anyways, how are you doing?
Very well. So back to my road digging.
I
I sort of underestimate my influence, but you know the ranting on Wednesday worked magic.
Wow.
So this morning, in fact yesterday, and I know they will be waiting for me to shout out, but this is not shout out time. I need to see the amelioration perfected. They started putting granites, strong big granites on the road and putting them and spreading them. By this morning they'd caked with the mud, the muddy road and everything, and I could just pass.
Right, fantastic.
But under Allocation, they're still on one side. So I don't know whether the 2 local government chairman met heads, whether it's the Nupeng, that's the tanker drivers, whoever is behind this, I don't know you. So that's why I cannot do shout out.
On behalf of Onima, we say thank you.
They have started ameliorating with palliative measures to at least ease passage. It's something.
But there's a picture, and I think Vanguard that just still shows that gridlock.
We need everything on that side of town. Every single thing.
I totally agree. Actually, I'm not
waste management, road management, hospitals,
everything. Some kind of acid we can just pour on the truck and they just dissolve and just go. Like what are you saying?
If it existed, don't mind me, I would have taken the risk.
Cartoons.
But these people are business owners. They pay their taxes.
I watch too much cartoons. How are you doing, Tokwe?
Very good. I had a very busy, interesting weekend.
Nice.
So I went for a leadership training, and actually we don't have time, but most of the time I've done a lot of these trainings, and I was almost feeling like, what else am I going to go and learn? Let me just focus. My husband was like, what's the goal for this training? I said, networking. But I actually got to learn. And, they say leaders should have vision. But one thing that most of the speakers reiterated was that beyond you saying what the vision is, you need to find the whys of your colleagues, your staff, people working for you. You must know why they are working for you and tie the bigger vision of your company to why they are working for you, because everybody is working for themselves. Exactly. So if you can find out why they are working, doing that work, what they are hoping to achieve in their own lives, and then you are able to tie the vision of your company or the vision of Nigeria to individual plans, they will be willing to do whatever they will serve. They will serve the greater goal when they know why it connects with their own reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I never saw it like that. I just feel like, cast the vision, let them know the vision, let them know the vision. But now we should tie it to their own, So that was different.
That's a good idea.
Party girl.
Yes, I went for it on Saturday.
I saw the pictures.
My big sister, Tinu, her father was 80 on Saturday. So there was a party in Ibadan for him. It was really nice. Not too big, but just a nice, classy, small party in Ibadan. Very tastefully done. I had a great time. Femi, it was a reunion for Femi because all his classmates, all the OAU boys, in fact, they're actually singing that they are great Ife song. That they are every other Ife, every other Kidiko is a counterfeit. I'm like, yeah, whatever. They're all there. But it was a nice. Then the party started Sunday was ROT's.
They shut down CMD Road.
In fact, the whole of Ketu was shut down. The whole of Magodo CMD was shut down.
ROT is the House of Assembly representative for this area. It was here on Monday. And the entire CMD, he fed his constituency.
So Bajabia Miller was in our church. People were feeling really tripping. I said, well, I can't be tripping because he was in our church.
At the top of the bridge there's a placard there saying, Baja, thank you for the election. I was like, I will load votes. Why did they put it here?
They're welcoming him.
They're welcoming him.
Because he came, so he was in our church, nice Agbada. They gave him a few minutes to say a few words. He spoke well. But they made ROT swear that he's going to serve the people. Everything he does this term must be people conscious. And he's like, he did it last time, and hopefully he continues. But the point is that the people will continually hold them accountable regardless.
Yes, so.
Now we're going to hold somebody accountable this morning. The pages are all over. Our whole ex-minister is all over this table. They're about to break. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Right, so we're going to start with the punch. Despite 757.48 billion naira budget, FG Road still in disrepair, aiding herdsmen attacks. And picture here of Makodi, Naka Road, Benue State. You have the Oyo Iseyin Road. Let's see, the other street, Mina Suleja Road, Niger State. Odogu Bridge on Iseyin Oyo Road, Gusau, Dansadao Road in Damfara State, and many others. Businessman Captain Engineers laments 9 months detention by Navy. My predecessor spent 2.3 billion naira on burials in 5 months, says Bauchi governor. Stop licensing new varsities, JAM tells federal government. Oyegu attacks Oshomole, says APC chair responsible for Edo Assembly crisis. Lots of story. Let's start with the major headline.
So the story is Punch did an in-depth analysis on the state of our roads and the amount that has been budgeted since 2015 to 2018 towards roads and bridges projects. And they said that that's more information going to the budget office. They got an amount of 757.48 billion that has been budgeted for this roads rehabilitation and reconstruction. But that if you go through the especially six geopolitical zones, there are bad roads everywhere. And they say that even though these monies have been put in, there's nothing that you can see on the roads to show that a lot of... Let me just add some things. They're saying that these roads have become an eyesore. They've become an embarrassment to a nation that's looking for investors. They're saying that these bad roads is aiding and abetting killer headsmen, kidnappers, It has become
I know that usually we've had people, budgets declared, as in budgeted, allocated, but what is disbursed is usually different. So this is allocated according
for the able former minister for works. I know he will respond by tomorrow morning.
So there's an analysis of the figures of how they came about the 757 points. So in 2015, 17.8 billion was budgeted for roads and bridges. 2016, 132.4 billion for 50 roads and bridges. 2017, 263.28 billion for 200 roads and bridges projects. And 2018, 344 billion. And Nigerians are just saying, we see these figures, but we do not see the impact on our roads.
The budget and allocation.
I want the president, because I want the presidency. We are still waiting for our new ministerial appointments. And I remember when the president was, when they were going, the president mentioned that they worked well. No, the president said they worked well.
Let the former minister of Works Housing answer to this one. Not about, let the president, I know they've handed over. They handed over.
He needs to respond to this. However, the president needs to be aware of the issues on ground while picking his next minister, instead of giving 3 ministries to one person. And we complained about it. You should know that one person should handle one.
Our former minister still needs to answer to this.
Of course, he's going.
So we are calling on former Minister Fashola to help us understand.
They have a PR company handling PR for that ministry. I've seen a bit of their videos on Works, but this is an in-depth research by Punch. We have pictures
Lagos
and detailed
expressway for 4 years.
Every of the part of the road.
4 years. Lagos is still causing traffic.
See, interestingly, I just passed Ibadan. I was in Ibadan on Saturday, and I actually thought it was a state government road. That road between after Guru Maharaji. Before you get to that, Iwo Road Circle. Oh my God, it's the most disgusting eyesore you could ever think. The entire place stinks. The refuse, they just dump things.
The state government.
Yeah, the state government should. That's for Ajimobi should have done something. Also, even yes, it's a federal road. The same way Lagos State said, understood that certain roads are federal government, but still asked, like, can I still come and do this airport road? Same thing. The governor should have also, or your state governor should have actually asked to do at least clear off that refuse. That entire place smells.
Even Lagos, the capital, was cosmopolitan, whatever city they call it. Can they just come and collect refuse before we run off? From Agbara to
we have to run off nation.
Jambi is saying that, that's the registrar for Jambi saying that we shouldn't register more universities. Nigeria already has 170 universities that are producing half-baked graduates. That we should focus on financing and that most people, private citizens now want to put their names in front of a university.
Apart from that,
should force the universities
quickly becoming a business. It's quickly just the way they destroyed public primary and secondary schools to have private schools turn into major businesses today. That's why we are getting private universities
federal
now.
I was going to, this Ibadan I went to. I was driving to Ibadan. On my right, there's one called Dominion University. It's like an nothing is there. They have given licenses to so many people that they're not functional.
Starting business.
You're right, like this is just there.
I don't think so. They're making money. So they will
Who's making money?
This so-called universities without standards. So they will send SMSs to JAM students that they know are falling short of cutoff and say, okay, you've been admitted, come. And children are desperate today to just have a degree. People rush down there, pay monies, and find out 2 years into their courses they can't actually graduate.
That's happening.
That's a different
It's a serious business.
Let's move on to the nation very quickly. Burata Ibad eggs must go. 3 injured in Lagos building collapse. Ajimobi to Makinde, stop discrediting me. FG warns against attacks on Nigeria's dead Uber driver recounts ordeal. Which story are we taking here?
I didn't read that.
Ajimobi.
So the Ajimobi responding to Makide's accusation Makide has been saying a lot of things about the previous administration. Remember that Ajimobi is APC and Makide is PDP. So it's a switch in power. He's now saying that I know that we're not perfect. Makinde should stop seeking perfection and focus on building on the successes he's had. That he was in power for 8 years, which rarely happens within Oyo State. He must have done some things right. That Makinde should focus on building on the good things that he, Ajimobi, had done.
As much as I don't agree that they shouldn't be probed, I think, yes, they should focus on the way forward. Himself and the one in
when I see former Governor Ajimobi, I want to ask about that road. That road is terrible.
This picture story in the nation.
The building collapse.
The building collapse in Mafoluku in Oshodi. Partially collapsed, and the Lagos government just quickly went into it and completely took it down.
Was marked.
Yes,
it was marked before.
And nobody.
It was marked before. He was it collapsed.
Daily Sun, Buhari tells Zamfara residents against, actually rallies Zamfara residents against bandits, urges them to expose culprits and partner with security agencies. Scores injured as another Lagos building collapsed. Debt servicing puts pressure on external reserves. Bayelsa Media Award, The Sun emerges best national newspaper. 13 killed in soldiers, and I think Mariam takes the story about the dead Uber.
No, the headline just didn't make sense. He said he recounts, he's dead already.
I read the story, he's not dead. I read the story. He was actually, they wanted to steal his car. So some people had planned. They drove him to, I think, Shangotedo, in the National Prize in Shangotedo. Yeah. And what they did was they beat him up. They now lifted him and dumped him in the bush, and then took the car. But the police were able to catch the culprits, and they arrested. Although the girl that actually started the whole thing ran off, that is blessing or something. But they caught the 3 other guys, and they left him for dead. But he then recounted the story to the police. Daily Trust very quickly. Thousands of people skip primary 5 and 6 to GSS 1. Anxiety as traders FG maintain claim on trade fair complex. NACON reduces 2019 Hajj fares, extends registration to July 15th.
Yes,
Many killed, 50 houses burnt in Taraba. D8 countries commit to implementation of health and social protection program. Yes.
Yeah, so
the major headline.
Yes, thousands of primary school pupils. Experts are saying in Nigeria that parents and teachers are influencing these children to leave primary schools for secondary schools before they even do primary 5 and 6. And a lot of experts have spoke about this. They gave their own opinion. They're saying that most high ability pupils that have made to skip classes eventually regret it.
Yeah.
You know, they say it's not only about education, or not only about how well you know your books, but also it's about age and maturity.
I think this is an important topic because we talked about it sometime in the past.
We need to
because people,
hot topic.
I had mentioned the fact that somebody had told me that I should let my daughter get into primary 1 quickly, even though she failed the exam. It was not her level. She was still in, I think, preschool or something. And we tried to get her.
This is not a new development. I said that I didn't do I had to skip from 5 to write it. But the common entrance then, I came back to write G2. Then there was G2 exam, which was the final school leaving certificate for primary school. I came back to take that exam, but that certificate is no longer useful anymore. So why would
we have to run off? Let's go take Vanguard very quickly. ACF backs federal government's plan to overhaul our Almajiri system. Apapa gridlock crashes earnings in consumer goods. Banditry violence attacks will end soon, says Buhari. And the Kano Emirates Council vows to sue anti-graft agency for contempt of court. Any stories there?
So the former National Security Advisor, Babagana Mugudu, was accredited to saying that they intend to prescribe the current style of Almajiri training, and the Arewa Consultative Forum has agreed that there needs to be an overhaul, total, complete overhaul of our Almajiri system, and that most the style has predisposed people towards, has led to out-of-school children roaming the streets, begging for alms in the name of Almajiri, representing the concept of Islamic doctrine and learning.
Jonathan did school for Almajiris. What happened?
Apparently, we just built a school and put rug and gave them uniform. There was still no proper care for these children, and there's still no proper curriculum for them that would help them become employable or even get a life outside the system.
It's a topic for another day. Lots of topics in the papers today.
Yes,
but as we said, we're waiting to hear from our former minister. We know he will respond.
We know he will respond.
Oh, former minister will respond.
But we just want pictures. He should bring his own pictures of all the roads.
We know you will respond. So we're waiting for your response. That's all we can take on front page review. When we come back, lots of hot topics, especially in Kogi State. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Again, we're minding our business. When we read the Kogi report about the Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, a young man, I must say, and his deputy, Simon Achuba, allocated to themselves a total of 14 million naira for staging burial ceremonies. The money is allegedly meant for financial assistance of families of the dead. Also within the governor's office, I think, actually. Now, many are asking, is this necessary, knowing that the government is still owing salaries? We also read something similar from Bauchi State
This morning.
saying that the former governor budgeted a certain amount of money, was it 2-point-something billion, for burials. Now, what's the common denominator amongst these people? What exactly is causing all of them to budget certain amount of money for burials? It's something we need to discuss. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets.
We can take it from the face value of, oh, they budgeted so much money to burial. Why are they spending so much money on burial? There's corruption. We can smell corruption somewhere. Or we can take it from the other side of the fact that people place high responsibility on political office holders to help them sort out bills and their financial responsibilities. So whenever there's any burial, because they know a state governor or the person has served in the state service, the expectation is that the governor must drop 1 million naira for this burial. And we place that expectation on and the responsibility on the politicians. It doesn't absolve the politician of blame for fueling that package, because we had a governor in Lagos that consistently said that he is not going to be funding what is not important. But we place that responsibility on them. So I don't want us. I know that we'll do the. Yeah, below is embarrassing us.
No, it's not even that. It's when the executive governor of the state, which is practically like the president of a small country, is saying, "I'm going to put money aside." What are you communicating to your people?
Exactly.
That you have no ideas of actually making them be able to fish for themselves?
There's no ideas.
So for me,
that.
No, are you saying that I'd rather give you
death?
Sorry?
It's more important
than life.
Because your money is that you put in the hospital would rather be set aside for befitting cultural burials.
Okay, it is not like Tokwe said. I think this is a blame. We would blame the politicians and the citizens. You go to these people, you expect them to give you money, and when they don't, you call them stingy. And when they leave office, you call them, well, good for you. For those that did not give any money, good for you. Now you have nothing to show for it. So that's one. But what is important is that this is about welfare. So we should look at it now. And the government house is trying to provide welfare for its staff. So that idea is a good idea.
That's not welfare.
No, I mean, that is the idea. It's an idea to provide welfare.
Right.
So the thing is not just about the burial. It says that members of the families of those who may need help, of those who have died who may need help. So different things. So it's like a welfare situation going on. But there are different ways to go about it. What happened to the insurance companies? Why can't the government sit down with insurance companies and come up with all sorts of their policies, life assurance policies?
So you mean there's something about revenue that you collect money from the insurance fund?
I mean, there's obviously revenue. If you have 14 million, there's somewhere that money is coming to. So if you do that, if you have that sort of relationship, so you don't have the people coming to you. Okay. These people, immediately they come to see, when they sign in, like when they sign their report, like to say that they are working, when they sign, then they have their insurance policy that they drop.
I agree with you, Mariam. What I'm saying is that for you to ask people to pay for insurance, they must be revenue earners. They're earning money. So obviously they're not getting money from anywhere. So you cannot get an insurance scheme.
No, what I'm saying is, since governor found 14 million somewhere, that place is finding the 14 million or million. Don't give it to the people. Have a relationship with the insurance firm and pay it on behalf of these people with the company. Do you understand?
There's a long list of many budgetary allocation that Yahaya Bello is making to what I feel is misplaced priority on his part. So he has a 70 million naira provided as donation and assistance to African Legion, 10 million to NYSC as a donation, 10 million to less privileged, donation, 10 million, 50 million to orphanage homes in your area. And people that live in that area say that salaries are not being paid in time. He's owing salaries. So when someone comes as the leader and is allocating money to what shouldn't be getting, there's no justification for it. And he's a young man, so they will not give him an example as a poster boy for young men in power.
I think it's just a whipping child for our own excesses as Africans. Number one, where this culture of befitting burial thing started that is costing us so much that we refuse to drop, I don't know. But we demand it. So we see our sick. I personally had a personal experience of a friend's dad who was sick. He was a polygamist and had several children, and they couldn't gather around for hospital bills. But as soon as he died, a meeting was compelled for burial. So these kind of things we will now bring into public offices, bring into public sphere. How this character thing started, I don't know, but the dead is dead. It's going to remain dead anyway. That's one. Number two, how the governor would now prioritize these burials over, it's still the people around him demanding, like Miriam is trying to say, these things. So if he wants to put do an insurance for the benefit of his people, I don't think burial should be it. Personally, I do not agree. I don't attend burials. I don't do burial. So I do not agree with that. But you can put together an health insurance scheme, do what Lagos State is proposing that I'm still waiting for, so that I can go and register my family on a state health insurance scheme annually for your family. To put together such a scheme and it to be I
remember when Peter constructive thinking attended platform, and when he spoke about certain things that he had to totally close the tap on so many excesses.
Yes, no.
These things are things a governor must do deliberately.
Exactly.
If you're saying we're not giving out money for burials, you know, we're in a fix.
A governor with a vision.
You go as a governor, we're in a fix right now. I am not giving out money.
When you run governance, like you're sitting in your chieftaincy palace discussing town matters, the way this governor operates, it doesn't even have an idea what governance should be about. In the earlier days, people were accusing Governor Yaya Bello of shutting down people. So two people cannot have a conversation. This, they had secret people in secret uniform who would just hear that conversation and arrest one person. The lecturer was picked up.
So,
for
for me,
so you can't even criticize his government freely.
Yeah, it's even beyond just burials, the way I see it. And one of the first questions that came to mind was, how many other governors do this? I'm sure this is something that's been passed on over and over and over again. And so for us to hear this morning...
What happened in Bauchi?
The present governor was that the present governor, who is also accusing his PDP person, is accusing his predecessor, who was an APC person, of within 6 months taking a total amount of 900 million was spent on just white cloth for burial. And these were unappropriated. Within 6 months, just before he left, 1.4 billion naira was used to buy wood.
Yeah,
for the burial. These are Islamic burial. They are simple burials.
So
how can you spend?
So how many families?
How many people were buried that you spent 1.4 billion naira?
So obviously,
this is corruption, clearly. So a family, I can single-handedly sponsor burial of an elder according to Islamic standards in my family, and I'm not rich. I can single-handedly sponsor an Islamic burial for my family. Okay, even the burial space is by what we do is Muslim communities, even in Lagos.
Okay,
we have a trust fund for burial places.
One of the reasons why we talk about these things, because most Nigerians probably in these states might not read the newspaper, so they have no idea that the governor just spent X amount of millions. So we are discussing it on TV, so you can see. And you can hear that this is what your governor has budgeted money for. So it's time for you to begin to hold your governor accountable. Is it right? Do you agree with him?
And if
you want to sponsor your dead's burials, no problem. We just feel that it's something you should know. That your governor has allocated X amount of millions for the dead.
But you should worry that your dead is dead, he cannot come back. Maybe you
should ask him to reallocate that money for developmental projects that can help the community.
And also other states, it looks like this is something that's happening in many states, but we don't know about, and it's coming out. So we should also pay attention to the state's budget and see exactly what it is that they're allocating for different things.
By God's grace, they will not give me money for anybody. That's all we're going to take. When we come back, we have more topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still on the Kogi State matter, and I think we have Femi on the line from K2. Morning, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Morayo.
Morning.
Please, we have to be a bit careful when we criticize.
Okay.
14 million for a state for burial is even so small.
Oh, wow.
What happens when the Obas died? What happens when there are accidents on the roads?
Wow.
What happens to the unclaimed deaths in the morgues around the general hospitals? What happens to those people killed by bandits and Boko Haram? What happens to the political bigwig deaths when the governor visits? So please, there are so many things to be done with this money. And that even 14 million for a state is small. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's not being sarcastic.
No, he made a point. He
No,
made a point, but I can criticize that point on other grounds. Only 2 grounds made sense for me because traditional burials for traditional rulers is a different pot of kettle.
Yeah.
And the unclaimed bodies, of course, but this amount is still outrageous if you compare how many. Now we have the issue of unclaimed bodies remaining in morgues for a long time. And no data is taken about those bodies. You cannot even do a DNA successfully to trace the body. You remember when I was announcing a missing elderly person on the show? Till date, we've not found him, and we've not been able to trace through all the hospitals and morgues. So we would not appreciate that somebody buries an elderly person like that without us being able to trace that he's been buried, because traditionally he has to be buried by traditional standards in Benin, and we still cannot find that body.
First of all,
so those are not the businesses of the governor exactly. When the body is unclaimed, it should be kept until family members come to claim it. Burial is still a family business. That's I agree with that. The governor has no business doing that sort of, but we have a response. When this was asked, what is this money for? And the response is for families of those that work in with the government, who have lost somebody, and then the families need help from the government. So this is not for all the, so this is not for what you have just mentioned. There are different bodies, I think, that answer that response to that.
Now, we see, I'll come to you, Tokwe. After this call. Morning, are you there? Take this call. Hello? Olawale, are you still there? Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Mariah.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Hello?
You're live, Olawale. Please go ahead.
Okay. It's Olawale Lisi, not Olawale.
Okay.
Okay, I think we lost that call.
People get the quality of leaders they deserve, you know, and I feel that we need to move for us to progress in this, our democracy, for us to leave this #1 in the number of poor people, #1 in terms of mortality rates. We need to begin to hold our leaders accountable. What is the vision? Now, Yaya Bello didn't campaign for this position. It happened on him. It wasn't the one voted in. It was due to some issues, mago within the process, that he got to be in power through the courts. So but even when he gets into power, what did he tell the people he was going to do for them?
Well, thank you very much.
Holding him accountable.
You see, this issue of holding them accountable is getting almost...
we're tired
of saying it. My own issue is not so much about the money, because I could care less if you want to spend $1 billion on toothpick for your people. That's your business. My own is coming across as the executive governor, coming across to us as if you have no ideas to develop us so we can actually pay for our own burials is a problem. Yeah. Making it look as if you are clueless on how to empower us enough to bury our own dead is a problem. So I'd rather give you that 40 million naira to help you than ensure that you have money to do it yourself. Yes. That for me is a major issue.
It's more dignifying. So we run the government. When the former Ekiti state governor was there, where we hold them salary and then offer them at the end of the year no efforts to make Christmas clothes for their children, which is to undignify them, to so degrade the people to that position of begging. And how many people can access? There's a tweet. People are tweeting. Andrew Chisholm says, honestly, there should be a provision in our constitution to dissolve certain states in the country.
Okay, I have a call from someone from the Kogi State government. Onoja, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, thank you. I'm there. Hello.
Please help. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, my name's Onoja Rego David, the Chief of Staff to Kogi State government.
Okay, great. Okay. Good to have you on the show.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, well, listen, that's one.
I'd like to enlighten you a little bit. We have civil servants. Okay. Because that is inevitable. You have public officers, civil servants, not appointees of government, who, when they pass on, there's what they call death benefit and burial expenses costs. It is essential for government to support civil servants when they die, having given 30, 10, 15 or 35 years of their service to the government. So sometimes before you go on a topic and at a tangent, you need to study the laws. People shouldn't throw you topics and you go on air. I align myself with the guy that called from Ketu. Governments are the ones who appoint the traditional ruler. So when they die, it is obligatory of government to spend money to give them their last respect. because they are officials of government. Every government of every state appoints their traditional ruler. And like the last scholar said, 14 million for a whole state is small. So if you don't know about something, do some research. Compare all states in Nigeria. Are these in their budget? What are the figures in those budgets?
Thank you, Mr. Onoja. I'd like you to hold on for a second. I'd like you to hold on for a quick second, Mr. Onoja. Two things, Mr. Onoja. Number one.
No, right. 14 million.
Okay. No, we actually corrected that. That it wasn't 14 million for the entire state.
It's just for the governor.
Up to 2 million.
Sir, can you give me just 1 second, please? We corrected that once after the call, that the 14 million was actually for the civil, those working with the governor, not the entire state. So we corrected that after the call.
Civil servants.
Yes.
Okay.
With
when
working
they die, there is
around the governor.
Burial expense.
Yes. Now, let's come to that issue of why should the governor be responsible to help to cover burial expenses? The idea is, why are we putting so much emphasis on the dead? We're covering expenses for the dead. Shouldn't we, in view of the circumstances?
The budget for education, for security, for health. This is like 0.00001% of
the entire budget.
Critical sectors.
So, and it's an important part of government.
To have looked at Kogi State budget and matched these figures with what was budgeted for other critical sectors like education, like health, like security.
You should inform us.
People and agriculture. People should not just give you a topic. You do this.
It's not.
And you come on national television and begin to speak.
Okay, thank you.
1
second, sir. Go ahead, Tokwe.
Sir, is Kogi owing any salary at this moment, sir?
Are we discussing burial and
I am asking you a question, sir.
Civil servants.
Are you owing anybody salary, sir?
Civil servant salary.
Your civil servant salary.
The government of Governor Yahya Bello came on board with arrears of 4 months' salaries to civil servants.
You haven't answered the question, sir.
It's a statement of fact, sir.
That same 4 months. It's called
it's in public sphere.
Inherit both assets and liabilities of every government. We met the liability of 4 months in arrears. We are moving with the 4 months in arrears, and that is it.
Sir, shouldn't it be a priority for you to clear the 4 months than do burials?
15 million.
Yes. Well,
it's little.
Okay, we agree with you, Mr. Onoja. Okay, Mr. Onoja, I agree with you. Let's say the figure is 4 million. That 4 million, if the governor had said, you know what, I have this in my budget, but I'm going to take that out, I'm going to use it to invest in this.
I also want to educate you. Excuse me, please.
Okay.
Excuse me, please.
Okay.
The government of Kogi State has spent over £500 million
on health
in helping indigents, the poor,
to do what?
To get health care. If you study Kogi State very well, for indigents, these are people that they are not even civil servants. They couldn't have gotten that health care. The government spent such money.
In building hospitals.
Okay, what we don't want help, sir. Mr. Onoja, what the people are asking for, they don't want your help. They want to be empowered to pay for their own medical services themselves.
So you don't know what my people want.
You don't know, sorry.
So
I do apologize.
I'm kind of linked to them by marriage.
Okay, so the people of Kogi want to be helped. They don't want to be empowered.
No, listen. A government, excuse me, please. The purpose of the government is not salary payment. A cashier can pay salary.
Right.
Government is responsible for both civil servants and non-civil servants.
Okay.
What happens when a child of a farmer who is not a civil servant has fiscal case that needs like 3 million to solve? What happens?
Mr. Onoja, just 2 quick questions. I understand the meaning of indigent.
They're not civil servants.
Hold on a minute, sir. I understand.
Responsible to them?
I understand the meaning of indigent people. I understand how difficult it might be for them to access good health.
You should find out,
but how many public hospitals have been built? How many more?
In the last 3.5 years.
How many more public hospitals have been built, Mr. Onoja? How many more public hospitals have been equipped, Mr. Onoja? How many more medical doctors have been employed, Mr. Onoja, in Kogi State, so that the poor indigent person can just access public health without having to write a letter to the governor's office? Because you know how long it takes to get a letter across. It's not a matter of being fortunate to be able to get to the governor. It's about having access to medical health.
We have just enhanced primary healthcare system of Kogi State. Are
Why
you
is it not in
aware
the news?
of the Kogi Health Plus service for women and children?
Okay.
I think what we need to do is to send you a dossier.
No, we need to come visit Kogi, so send us an invite.
And I expect people who go to public to speak on public issues.
Okay.
To
All right.
research a little.
Okay, so we have to round up with you, but we definitely appreciate
that you have been talking out of ignorance, and I can excuse you on that.
No, we disagree.
Kogi
Kogi State is popular for not paying salaries. Kogi State has been in the news for so many things. Today's story was gotten out of the newspaper. So these are not women that just sat down and came up with a story. So what we are asking, as Nima has said, what has Kogi State done for the health sector? How many indigents are you able to take care of this way? How many of them have you given money compared to all the other indigents in the states? How many of them have you picked up to do? That's what we're asking.
Let's even leave everything we've said. You yourself have said that Kogi is owing 4 months' salary, but Kogi has decided to prioritize helping civil servants pay for burial than for paying their salaries.
I have to go on a break. Unfortunately, we have to round up this conversation. That's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we discuss our colleagues living in the diaspora saying issues they're having with the Nigerian embassy. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we jump into our next topic, I think we have loads of tweets. Can we just take a few tweets before we run off?
They're not positive at all.
So,
Okay, I think Solomon is waiting. Solomon, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Okay.
You see, I'm so disappointed. It's a shame that Nigeria as a nation will have an idiot like a dark government.
No, you can't insult people. No, please, I beg you.
When we buy ground to bury somebody, in Nigeria, you don't buy ground to bury somebody.
Okay.
He's looking for money.
I'm sorry, sir. You cannot insult anybody. See, the objective of this show is to share views. You may not agree with it. It's okay, but share your views without insulting. Go ahead, Nima.
Abimbola says, my hubby is from Kogi State. My sister-in-law, who is a teacher, hasn't been paid for months. Likewise, my brother-in-law. Mr. Noja's talk is pure propaganda. People are suffering for real. No infrastructure whatsoever.
Balaji Lawa says, don't let's deceive ourselves. The expense of the situation highlighted by the caller is budgeted for and not covered by the 40 million. The 40 million is to buy political favors via burials and not acceptable.
Anyway, so, you know, we are offering the Kogi State government and
I don't mind traveling there. I have a house there.
We're offering Mima
I have a family house
to go to Kogi and tell us what's going on.
You won't pay for hotel expenses. Just host me to see.
Now, let's talk about guests. Let's switch. The story of a Nigerian in the United Kingdom who destroyed 5 cars in front of the embassy in London is seriously trending. I would like to hear your thoughts about it. What do you think? Was there a fault there? The Nigerian government, on the side of the Nigerian government, or the citizen? Joining us is an ex-diasporan, Mr. Gbola Oba. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So once again, you can call us on 0708066814. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Your View TVC so we can read your tweets. So this thing happened and the whole of Nigeria was going agog on, why now? What is this wrong? How? This is total indiscipline on his part. This is a disgrace. Others are saying, no, he's a hero. What he did was speaking the mind of the average Nigerian in the diaspora. What are your thoughts on this? What has been your experience in the embassies, especially outside the country?
Horrible. Horrible.
BLE, horrible.
I was in England for almost 20 years, and I had experiences at the High Commission and at our consulate on Fleet Street. And let's be very honest with ourselves, for an average Nigerian in our UK diaspora, having an engagement in any of the embassies is not somewhat very... Not until I was a practicing journal in the UK. And I would have to be invited to interview the High Commissioner or this thing that I started enjoying going to the Nigerian High Commission. Before then...
They don't know you.
Before then, experientially, it was horrible. But having said that, fair is fair. We Nigerians too don't tend most times to want to respect rules as best as possible. It's, you know, one has gotten a bit more matured, one is older, one has seen the two sides of the coin. The popular sentiments as at this juncture amongst my friends in the UK, especially from the very old to the very young, the popular sentiments is anti-Nigeria embassy, is anti-Nigeria commission. Let's be very honest with ourselves. In fact, in a group, I was almost being literally mobbed, as in literally, not literally. Mobbed by some of my colleagues in the group. Like, Gola, you know, you tend to be saying the boy has gotten himself into a problem, because I looked at it from the viewpoint of a parent.
I know that the current chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, I spoke to her. She was going to actually call into the show. Hopefully we can call her at some point during the show to hear her thoughts, because they feel that there's been a bit of improvement. There's been improvement. Yes, there's been issues with the Nigerian embassies abroad. But there's been and I also spoke to a Nigerian just yesterday. I was going back to England yesterday. And he says, Morel, I know I've had issues in the past, but in the recent times, things have drastically improved, where you cannot totally blame the Nigerian embassy abroad, because they get the booklets from Nigeria. If there are no booklets, what would you do? Nigerians will complain. They expect that once you get there, within 24 hours, I get the booklet. I say, sorry, we don't have any booklets. What do you want them to become?
Is there an inefficiency here?
So it's part of it stems from issues we have in Nigeria that you can't totally blame them. Is that true?
We can't totally blame them, yes. And fair is fair. You know, we're all human beings. And one day we could swap positions on this. You could be appointed tomorrow as Nigeria Commissioner to the UK. Yes. We're getting nearer to it. Okay. But you see, having said that, there's a way, even when things are bad, when the customer relations style is right, you would empathize with the people.
Let me come to you,
but when you are,
you're brash.
So I wanted to disagree with you that it was about the people, because I know in Nigeria here, you pay a certain amount of money, they accelerate things for you. So if we know,
you can do the same.
I'd like you to take me through the process. How long, what's the application time? How long does it take to get captured? When you're captured, how long will it take to get your visa? And how long should it take max? So this guy's date was 2013. When was his passport stamped again? It was stamped a few years ago, and he still hasn't gotten it.
My brother-in-law was telling me,
he broke the windows, they brought out the PR, posting his pictures, and the year of which they
to answer your question, my brother-in-law actually is in my house right now. He was telling me that when he went to New York to get his son's passport, Nigerian passport, they told him you have two options. If you want to the express one, where you get the next day, you pay. And he had a friend who actually paid. But he said, since I'm not running away, I can still be here for the next 1 month. He waited and he got the passport in the mail. But some Nigerians want to insist that, no, I came all the way from Canada to pick up the passport. I must live here with it. And considering the fact that they already spent money to come here, so they want to collect that passport immediately. And the embassy is saying, sorry, I need 48 hours or 3 days to get this passport to you. So but then they start getting upset.
This is a function of communication. If when I want to apply for a Nigerian passport, I went on the Nigerian High Commission's website, and the procedure tells me
1 month.
1 month, or the procedure tells me, starting this process, you don't even need to buy a postal order anymore.
Yeah.
That you just come to you pay to a given account, or you do this, and when you get there, the process will be initiated. And when you get there, somebody is now telling you the same information that they gave on the website, that they no longer take postal order. Somebody is telling you to go and buy postal order.
So this is going to break up. When I come back, I'll come to you. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to open our phone lines now to those living in the diaspora. I want to hear from you because this concerns you. Let's hear your thoughts on the issue of negligence or just a poor customer service on the part of Nigerian embassies abroad. But let's come to this man, the action, what he did.
Was totally
we all
wrong.
agree was wrong.
Violence, is a point that we need to emphasize that violence does not in any way, shape or form solve a problem. It gets you into further problem. Right. As we speak now, he's cooling his heels in Her Majesty's custody with a view to being taken to court, and I know that this may attract a custodial sentence. The parents are distraught, will naturally be distraught now. The relations will be unhappy, and let's be very honest with ourselves, his criminal record in the UK will not get him some better opportunities in the...
I agree that what he did was wrong. But, and in the prosecution of his case, would there be any blame on the Nigerian embassy? And could there be anything that could be done for him? You know, could have caused what he did and maybe get some form of leniency?
Okay, we'll come to, let me take this call from Tone in the UK. Tone, are you there from the UK? Go ahead, please.
Yes, I am here.
Go ahead. Go ahead, you're live. Go ahead.
Hello. Yes, sir, I am here. Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
My mom is a big fan of your program.
Thank you.
Well, the experience I had.
Listen to me, not to TV. Go ahead.
I had my first experience at the Nigeria Commission in London. I'm not listening to the TV. My first experience in Nigeria Embassy in London was a negative one. However, last year, I brought my daughter. I took my daughter to Nigeria for the first time, and I went to get her passport. The service was excellent. It was a good service that I received. My daughter was shocked from what she heard about Nigerian High Commission in the UK. Okay. That they're rubbish, they're crap, they're rude. Yes, we do have some staff that we met with some staff that were very rude. But overall, I see them 98%.
Oh, that's good. That's
fantastic. I had a good experience.
Fantastic. That's good. It's good to know because, as I said, I've heard a lot of negative. When I asked my brother-in-law, one traveled last night, one is in my house, and they all shared good experiences. I'm wondering, where are all the negatives coming from?
Yeah, so then Mr. Adebayo, just quickly.
YK expressed on the show here how Rolari's and her husband had to queue for days in the cold at the Nigerian embassy to get their passport. So the experiences vary across the board.
Perceptions die hard.
Yes.
You know, perceptions die hard. You see, when you build a reputation, either positively or negatively, before you change the bad one happens fast. But the good one, to change a bad reputation to...
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that one thing is Nigeria, generally, we can be very unruly. We don't have a culture of following orders and being cordial. We also don't have a culture of customer service. We don't communicate politely to one another. And so the aggression can lead to a spiral of action. So if somebody comes extremely polite, the experience might be different because the way you approach the front desk person might make the person feel like, oh, you're not like the typical, and I'll be nice to you. So the experience is based on how they went to the person. However, I see Nigerians consistently obey, queuing for under harsh weather to get into the American embassy. The process of getting the visa is tedious. You will pay and you still don't get visa, and we don't see that aggrieved reaction from them. So we need to respect the process as Nigerians, and we need to understand that there are expectations from Nigerians that go to the embassy to know that Nigeria has a problem generally.
Nigeria will queue to go and see the Queen, a long queue. Yes. But to the Nigerian embassy, they have a problem with it. Let me take this call from Germany. Solomon, are you there? Hello, Solomon.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I am the first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, Germany.
Which city in Germany? Germany is a very big country.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, mine is a bad experience. You see, in Nigeria, I've not seen anybody living here in Germany that have said good thing about Nigeria embassy.
Okay.
This is an association where you go there. The first thing they do to you is they collect your handset, put you at the basement. There is no you are welcome. The way they are so rude. You get an appointment on the internet and you go there. Sometimes they tell you come back the next day. They don't even mind where you come from. So I have not seen, not only in the UK, you see, we don't support what the guy did, but then it's like an hero. Because everybody living here know that if you go to Germany, go to any office in Germany, whether you are German, you are black, it doesn't matter. You have the same procedure. They respect you. But as a Nigerian, you go there, they talk to you anyhow, they insult you, they say, go and sit down. Sometimes you come, there was a time I went there, I got there at 9 o'clock, and I left there 10 o'clock in the night. Too late.
So, thank you very much for your share. Let's take a few tweets.
So, Mr. Adebayo, message from the media aide to Mrs. Agbike Dabiri saying that the young man did something very terrible. He arrived late. He was told by the security that the mission has closed for the day. And he went about destroying the diplomatic vehicles worth a lot of money. And in the passport was issued on the 6th of June 2019, he did not leave a self-address for delivery, a self-addressed envelope for delivery, which is why he had to come and pick it up and present his slip. So
this response has been in the papers. We know that, but what we would like to hear from them, if they can explain to us, is the procedure in the embassies. Why do we get a lot of reports from the embassies abroad, not just in the UK, that Nigerians, the customer service is poor, the delivery, the entire procedure is tedious.
There's a footage going around now on the Nigerian High Commission in Canada. But I watched a young lady detailing her experience and frustration, and she got to a point and said, even my dad does not make that money in Lagos. I'm a student, I have to borrow it. And water welled up and I remembered some of the experiences I had in the 90s at the High Commission. But you know what?
So Mr. Adebayo is saying the Nigerian embassy in the UK has improved significantly in their operations. That I can testify, but they should improve on the customer service aspect of the operations, as some of the staff are a bit over the top when dealing with you.
Let me go on the program. When we come back, we'll still try to get the Honorable Abike Dabiri on the phone. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thank you for staying with us. We have with us the chairman of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa. Good morning, madam. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good to have you on the show. Your media aide has already responded to the situation concerning the young man. That's not our focus now. Our focus is the entire procedure of the Nigerian embassies abroad. Nigerians generally seem frustrated by the slow responses, the lack of information, the poor customer service, and the issue of favoritism.
Yes.
It's only if you know somebody that you can get things done quickly. So how would you respond to these situations, especially in the Nigerian embassies abroad?
Yeah, thank you very much for having this conversation. First is, but before I go into your question, I'll clarify a few things. Now, the video circulating from Canada happened 7 years ago when the late Ambassador John Madueke was the ambassador in Canada. So one, it is morally wrong and pathetic for someone to post that video and put, oh, this happened today in Canada. That is very, very wrong. And that's part of the social media challenges we're all facing today. And the lady who made that happen in Canada was actually administratively dealt with by the late Ambassador John Madueke. So let's get that clear. That is pathetic. That is irresponsible journalism. If you call that journalism, that is one. Two, what happened in the UK, nothing justifies the young man who violently destroyed cars. Like I told the lady who was talking to me, I said, as a mother, would you get up and say, oh, my son, I'm proud of what you did? It's wrong. So don't let us encourage any form of indiscipline or such acts of violence for any reason whatsoever. However, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Immigration are both in charge of this matter, and everything is being done to ensure that all complaints are looked into. In fact, I think next week, in the next 2 weeks, we'll be having a stakeholders meeting at the Nigerian Embassy involving members of the Nigerian diaspora community, the immigration, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs officials, the consular officials right there at the embassies. We're looking at all issues with and how there can be a permanent solution to them. But one thing is clear. There's been massive improvement in most of our embassies. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying not much more needs to be done. We agree. Like in Australia, Senegal, just as we get complaints, we get those who say, oh, we're so impressed with what is going on. So as a government, it's responsible to look into all complaints. And apart from the gentleman who went on the viral video, say something, because we've received so many...
But you must admit, Ma, that it was because of this video...
Pluses and minuses that I'm sure the ministry and the Nigerian Commission on Immigration will be looking into.
Well, it's because of this video that you're having this meeting. If not, if this video didn't go viral, maybe this meeting that you're having next week wouldn't come to pass.
No, if this... No. If this... We are going to... The first official engagement of the Diaspora Commission has been planned.
Okay.
And the first place we said we'll go to is the UK.
Okay, all right,
go ahead. So the date is coincidental. If this hadn't happened, maybe we'll not focus. We know there are issues, and we've been talking. We have ways we talk. So this will be discussed, and other things will be discussed.
All right, go ahead, Tokwe.
So we have a challenge of passports. The fact that passports booklets are never available immediately. You can't pay and capture and get your passports. What? And I know this is not within your purview, but what information do you have, being that you've been working with people in diaspora, on how we can make this process seamless and easier? I don't think we should be waiting for 2 weeks, 2 months, and paying extra to get our passports. It shouldn't be that difficult, should it?
What we do with the commission is when we get specific cases, we deal with them specifically. There'll be 1 or 2 issues, and we realize that, they are solved immediately. So maybe there are issues of communication. But like you said, these are issues for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because we don't deal with consular matters and the immigration. But I'm telling you that everything will be done to ease. And then again, for our people too, there are rules and regulations to be followed. Maybe these rules and regulations should be communicated more so that they can, understand what to do and not to do. Maybe also, 2 weeks before your appointment, there should be an email to you or something letting you know exactly when your passport will be ready. If it's not going to be ready, let you know it's not going to be ready. Or something. Like I said, it's a holistic thing to be done.
Thank you very much,
Ma. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Immigration will work on the complaints and see what is realistically possible.
All right, thank you. We have to let you go now. Thank you so much for joining the show. Let me come back to our guest. So,
most times the sentiments for BK has been very positive historically since when she was the chairman of the Diaspora Commission. But she nearly got herself into a major problem on this. Because you know what? Some people started saying, somebody who had not even lived before in the diaspora, how could she empathize with them?
Well, she's been a special advisor to the president on diaspora affairs for
you know
at least 4 years, so she knows what she's talking about.
That is how flippant and how this moods could be, because they don't see her empathizing with them on this. And the truth is that
it's difficult.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Violence, we have condemned violence. Let's even come to the issue of those who work at the Nigerian missions across the world. These people are working miracles because monies don't come to do the basic. You go to our facilities across the world and you see deteriorating basic infrastructure.
The US was founded.
You see, and these people sometimes would have to do extra work illegally to even leave.
I think a minister actually made a report to the Senate recently that even toilets, they had issues. So they had issues.
If you're subjected to work in such circumstances, let's be very honest with ourselves.
It will not be nice.
Even occasionally I will get irascible. So let's pack that aside. They are human beings subjected to such extenuating conditions. Nigerians too, when we go to such places, I lived in diaspora before. We do have attitudinal problems. Let's be very honest with ourselves. That young man now, the parents and those who love him and care about him know what he has gotten himself to now. So there's no point. Violence for what? Who are you?
Okay, let's take a few to have to run off.
Elizabeth Juliana says, most of their customers are British-born Nigerians like myself. We expect professionalism, proper and clear processes and good facilities. Majority are orderly and not unruly, but the quality of staff is very, very poor. Kadao Loweyo says, are your VIPs respectful to people that voted them into power? It flows from the top. If these people at the top treat those at the bottom with disdain, then those at the bottom will pour their frustration on others, pour it pour. And then Idris says, issues are favoritism for if you know someone, then there's lack of and conflicting communications from the High Commission website and from staff. Nonchalant attitude of staff, public holidays not announced. And why do they even publish when booklets are available? They don't publish when booklets are available. So the issues are numerous. So,
yeah, but there's Abby that's saying, so this is the second positive, says most negative feedback as regards the Nigerian High Commission are from people who have not visited the place recently. Sincerely, there have been improvements. Staff reshuffled, more friendly faces now, and less time spent unlike before.
So it means, so obviously there's been some improvement, and and after this meeting we tried to get Honorable Abike back to tell us the review, whatever they decided at this meeting, and let's see what the Ministry of International Affairs can actually do to help alleviate the issues.
We don't have a minister right now.
We don't have a minister when they resume.
The ministry is functional. You have a pump sec and...
So, all right, that's all we can take on the show. Goodness, it was a hot show today. Hope we don't get in trouble, Sha.
With due respect, I should tell you, as a veteran of this trade, that the show got lifted today by that guy Zanga.
Yeah,
you are in no
we're doing the right thing.
You're doing if you don't pick them, journalism is not when you sing their praise. It's when you pick them.
We understand that, Mr. Noja.
And we have to see you.
We'll see you in Kogi. In fact, Nima, we're sending Nima to Kogi to see what
and they won't take down.
I should be very objective, trust me.
Trust me.
Don't try to package anything.
I don't package anything.
Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.